How soon do you start disassociating when you get that text?
It ain't long, but I also work with them, so.
So it's just every day. You practice at it.
It's gotten better.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, Payne, and a special guest.
It is I, this special guest, Blackjack.
Where can people on the internet find you, Blackjack?
Everywhere. Anywhere they put in Blackjack. Gambling, conceit. No. You can find me. You can find me on Twitter, It's 21 Blackjack, and on Blue Sky at It's 21 Blackjack. On Twitch, the BlackjackXXI. That's Roman numerals for 21. And yeah, where that's pretty much where you can find me. Typically stream Saturday through Monday, and then sometimes occasionally during the week. So yeah.
Nice. And then any particular plug for your content?
Anime.
If for any reason you may be interested in Umi Neko and playthroughs of it, I am currently in the 5th chapter of it. So there's that going on. And I guess, yeah, right now I'm trying to recreate video content, but that's still in the works, so I don't want to plug my YouTube yet until I'm actually making videos again. But yeah, it's basically just right now it's Umi Neko, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm going through Undertale again.
I saw that.
Yeah, I did not finish the game in 2016. And November 5th, 2016 was the last time that 2018, I'm sorry. November 5th, 2018 was the last time that I had played it. And I was like, oh, it's been 6 years. I guess I should just actually finish it. So yeah, doing that right now.
Nice. Very fun. But yeah, this isn't your first rodeo with us. Is this?
It is not.
This is 3?
Might be more.
I think it might be more.
I remember
didn't count.
anime waifus and...
Wait, did we literally have an episode called Anime Waifus?
We do.
Basically, yeah.
Oh. I just remember not every time, but most of the time when Blackjack comes on, it's always like Hop and Blackjack find something. I shouldn't say niche. I feel like it's our age group and everything loves this like game thing, and then there's me, just like,
Look, you've played Mass Effect now.
I have played Mass Effect. I know who the fish man is now.
He's all mine, is what you mean.
I didn't disagree, but I'm like...
I was expecting you to say, and you can keep him.
No, because I also want the fish man on my team. Not as a romantic... oh, man, was it Blackjack? Someone yelled at me in chat. It wasn't... I don't think it was Blackjack, but someone yelled at me when I was playing, and I'm like, I don't understand. Everyone says it has all these romantic options and everything. And then they're like, you literally didn't talk to anybody. I'm like, I did. They just said the same thing over and over. Like, how many times do I got to talk to them for them to say something different?
Why can't they say anything interesting?
Well, and then the thing that cracked me up the most, I think it was 3. I'm walking around, and then I go and talk to this one guy, and he's like, yeah, the world's about to end. I guess it's about time you come and talk to me. And I'm like, oh. And then I was like, well, how you doing? And then he starts giving me the sob stories like, this is why I didn't talk to you.
When you go date the people, you get the sob stories, though, Payne. It's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. The only person that I ever, in that game, had a relation, I guess what people, when you get the special cutscenes with the relationships. The only time I had one of that happen was through the one DLC where you get drunk, and then I woke up next to Jarvis or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Wow, that was not. I've never unlocked that one with Jarvis.
Jarvin.
What's his actual name? It's now I'm thinking of a YouTuber who goes by the name Jarvis, and now like
Jarvis Johnson.
Yes.
Yes, that's why I've said this in front of D-Payne. Always be plug-in.
Yes.
Javik.
Yeah, that one.
Thank you, yes.
I looked up JAR and a name didn't come up, so I just put JA, and I was like, "Do you mean Javik?" Yes, yes, we do.
But yeah. So I don't even know how that happened. But I do know that was my least favorite DLC because it forced me to go to a party and my introvert went off a lot.
I was gonna make the joke. Most people that wake up in bed next to someone after a party probably don't remember what happened either.
Maybe. And you know what? Most people wish they could forget what happened after they watched Scarlett Johansson, Ghost in the Shell, but we watched... Nah, I'm joking. we didn't watch Scarlett Johansson.
You cut yourself off at the wrong moment. You said, but we didn't watch. Just kidding. I went, wait, did I watch the wrong one? Because I like the one I watched. I don't know if I would have survived the other one.
There was parts where, because I know I saw like clips or something of it, and I'm like, oh, hey, that's... I saw the trailer where Scarlett Johansson did that when they were really trying to sell, hey, you should have watched this movie.
Please watch this. We're begging you.
But yeah, so we watched Ghost in the Shell, the 1995 anime version, and we, for people who don't know, we are doing winter animes.
I don't know why this came up on a Google list. But
I don't know either.
Maybe because the robots looked cold.
They are.
Sure.
I was going to make the joke about... D-Payne has the bit where he's like, I see why men like this movie.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Sorry, I'm trying to find our list of Christmas questions. There we go.
But yeah, so
Yes.
for the format of this, to make it easier for us to jump into discussing the movie and also to give non-spoilery looks into the movie for anyone that's curious about Ghost in the Shell, parentheses 1995, and somehow hasn't had it spoiled to them yet. I'm surprised.
That was me.
I was surprised I hadn't had it spoiled. I felt like I watched a lot of it because of this feels like a very, like, formative sci-fi movie. Like, we've made comments before we started recording about other influences that we could tell definitely took from this movie.
Batman.
The emo Batman, specifically.
What, the Batman Beyond?
No, Robert Pattinson.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't watch that either.
I was going to joke because quiet, brooding main character that says just enough words.
What do you mean? This is me. I am robot.
But yeah, so we have the set of questions.
Back up my files, please. Oh, that's a wall. I'm done.
There was a firewall in the way of backing up your files. Unfortunate.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
But yeah, so then we have these questions, and then we'll roll dice. Oh, wait. Summary first, then questions?
Yeah, I think it was summary. I don't know. It probably will change from week to week, but we'll give a quick summary, and then we have our, as Hop named it, our wintry rankings, which I realized we forgot to tell Blackjack before we started. But we're using letter grades, so from A+ to F-, how would you rank the movie according to these 4 questions?
F, C, A, and S tier.
Honestly, not
the first
a bad...
one you would, yeah.
The last one may be also true.
But yeah, so we will be doing that, and
Then a half hour of us saying anything
Yes.
and everything. Spoiler
Yep.
territory, baby.
yeah, so we'll be rolling D8s, so I guess roll away, nerd lords.
And we roll dice because a lot of us
Oh wait,
play
we said the lowest gives the
summary.
Yep.
Yeah, tabletop nerds, roll dice.
All right.
Yeah.
So lowest gives the summary. I think I rolled the same number last week. I rolled a 4.
Yep, and that's what you did roll.
Did a
How about you?
3.
A 3. I got a 1.
Well,
So the person who messaged Hop and said, I literally fell asleep while watching the movie, has to give the synopsis.
You did curse yourself with that.
let's go.
Alrighty. So the gist of this movie is there is I guess the best way of calling it, some sort of entity that is known to hack or pretty much hack these cyborgs that are very prevalent in the society, and they are trying to hunt them down, while other robots that are protagonists have existential crisis. Plus, there's cars.
There are cars.
I don't know. How does that sound? Does that sound decent enough?
I guess I'll just flavor in.
Then that was a no.
At that ramen packet seasoning.
Big classic sci-fi vibes, and if you like cat and mouse movies, this is what this is.
You know what? Yeah, actually, this very much is a cat and mouse movie. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So if people are curious about the movie, those are the two things I would say. Like, if you like sci-fi or if you like watching a chase, then yeah.
And guns?
There are guns.
Anyway.
There's also boobies.
There are boobies.
If you like boobies.
Boobies are very, 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 very prevalent.
As I was telling these guys, I remember clearly a friend of mine in high school. Like, this is at this time, like, the most anime I watched was whatever was on Toonami. Like, I just got cable. And so it was just Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, Kenshin, Bobo.
So such a cursed one, but yes.
Oh man, Bobo is like, if anyone watched that, they're like, oh yeah, D-Payne's brain makes a lot more sense.
It literally set your brain chemistry.
Yeah. Oh man, but anyway, yeah, his American dubbed voice was just always cracked me up. Just it is me, Bo. Anyway, so yeah, our first of the 4 questions of how we rank this. How much did this anime fit the winter season?
F minus.
It's gonna get an F from me, dog.
Yeah. I'm like, is it winter, like a Pennsylvanian winter because there's rain?
I don't know why. Maybe I looked up a list and they said this is like the right vibes. It does give off like cold, steely vibes, but there's no winter scene.
It gives the vibes I have to give when it's like, oh, hey, your dad invited us over for Christmas.
It's just like that forced family holiday feels.
Yeah, I'm whatever her name is.
Hasunagi.
Yeah.
How soon do you start disassociating when you get that text?
It ain't long, but I also work with them, so.
So it's just every day. You practice at it.
It's gotten better. Okay, how much did you root for for the characters? I rooted for the puppet master.
I would probably give it an A+. I was invested enough, even with the lulls in the movie, because it is a slower paced movie. I was invested in figuring out what was happening with everybody. Even the poor guy in the very beginning who was just there were 2 guys in the beginning that were just pawns. But I did like their reveals.
Yeah, they do open up, and it's really funny that like this movie feels like it goes long because it's not even 2 hours. I think it's not even 90 minutes in reality. It's an hour and a half. Yeah, it's like an hour and a half. It's like really short, but like it feels longer in a weird way. But I think I would probably go somewhere towards like a B and an A for this. I think when it starts when you start realizing kind of like the like Hop said, like the rabbit chase here, and it's like a back and forth watching kind of like because they start like by explaining like what the ghosts are, and like because the ghost is like the consciousness and the shell is just the body that they inhabit, and then going more into it becomes like an A. But I think overall I'd probably say B.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to remember when I fell asleep. I fell asleep when they stole a character, and then I woke up and there was a tank.
Oh, you missed quite a bit.
I'm like, I don't know how much I missed, but it felt like okay.
Do you remember a garbage truck?
Yes, I did remember the garbage truck.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's I don't know. I guess there was parts I was invested in, but I don't think I was really rooting for characters. So, like, I think I'm gonna give it a C for me, because I think what I'm gonna answer higher is the second part, which is how would I grade the plot,
Okay.
like, or what grade would you give the plot? And
That's
I think
fair.
I would give it like a B plus for me for the plot for what I was awake for. For a bit of context, I went to work, came back from work, and then like immediately went on a date with my girlfriend, and then had to drive like that was there and back was like an hour. So came back and it was just like body stopped moving and started relaxing, and then next thing it was like for the first half of that movie everyone's like, yes, oh, there's somebody coming in here, and I'm just like, well, this is soothing. But
Their voices were very like, I also went into the office yesterday, so like I was up early and driving and stuck in some traffic, so I was also tired. Some of the way that the voice actors are, I watched a Japanese one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but they were well acted, but at times they were trying to deliver it flat, and I was like, there's like no music, and they're kind of just talking, and like it's actually like almost like ASMR.
it's like a Star Trek episode. But yeah, I would give it a B plus, because I think I also mentioned this before we started recording, and then when I learned there was more installments, I was like, okay, where it felt like they were setting up a lot of stuff. Like, it still works as like a standalone. I enjoyed it, but I'm like, okay, like where it kind of goes. So, but like the whole like, oh, who's piloting? Like, as Blackjack was saying, like who's actually running the ship? The ghost, the shell, the blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, hey, I like this. And then there was a tank. But yeah, there is a character I did like a lot, or yeah, like from what I saw, but I can say that for afterwards. How about you guys? What grade would you give the plot?
I think overall, I would say I kind of agree. Plot probably around an A. Yeah, I think I can probably solidify then probably the characters and rooting for probably a B. Plot more like an A, just because I don't want to. Does it make sense to get into influences? Does it?
You can. There's no stopping you.
Influence? Like, what do you mean by influence?
Like what it later influences? You know,
What
like
it becomes essentially.
We can say that for the second half, like the timed thing.
Yeah, because I
feel like it's gonna come up.
Right, because I think the only reason I'm thinking of it now is because it's like, oh wow, I can see where XYZ films got this from and where this is, especially like for instance, so when they're doing the who is it, like his hands all of a sudden, like the fingers and they go and then it's just like he's got like 5 million fingers, and then like
the typing, the
typing is like,
I saw that part. I'm like, I wish I had that.
Oh my god. I apparently typed so hard into Notepad that I now have a message that on my computer says disallowed. There is a problem with your last action. If you think this is a bug, I think a ghost took over my shell of a computer.
What's its name? Janet?
But yeah, it's very interesting because it they like almost like minutes in, they're immediately like going into like the research of like Project 2501, and then like kind of setting you up for what pretty much the plot of the whole story is going to be. And then I think piece by piece, even if there were like parts like there, like I was talking about the garbage scene where they're chasing them down and whatnot, and they end up like the garbage man gets run down into the alley, and then they show like the what's the camouflage armor? What do they call it? It's like
thermo something, yeah.
Boob armor.
Yeah, where it's just like, oh, it makes you invisible and you can't see them and whatnot. I liked how they introduced that at first with Kusanagi, and then like it's like, oh well, other people can do this too. I felt pretty plugged in, for no pun intended, for the for the plot for most of it. And I think that more than anything else, that's kind of like the driving factor here. I guess that, and also just half naked bodies through most of this.
Yeah, for me, it's a solid like A. I love vague sci-fi with just enough commentary that you're like, I don't know who to trust and I don't know what to like, but I know that I hate society.
Yes.
And that's like very quintessential. And like you said, the influences that watched this movie and then made their own movies after this, they lean more into that commentary than I think this movie does. This movie kind of just goes, we got here because you guys let computers do this, so you're gonna have to just live with these consequences. Because I know there's one quote from this that I really liked that was like,
I'm Batman.
Yes.
Do you want to watch Batman movies? We can find a Batman director for next year. You've mentioned Batman twice now.
I don't know why. I'm just making goofs, and I'm like, Batman is just there.
I'm Batman.
But I think the quote is something along the lines of like, you guys thought computers would never develop feelings, and now you have them. So sucks to be a human being.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a show with the ghost of Clippy? It's just there.
They probably had. So I've read a lot of speculative fiction from.
Is that what all Elon's bots are going to be? Clippy?
I mean, Grok.
Oh,
Isn't he a football player?
No, that's Gronk.
Oh.
Yeah, Grok is his failed attempt of his own AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that is ruining X or Twitter, whatever they want to call it, because
it's calling him out because it's fed. Is it fed by Reddit?
No, it's
fed by. So it's fed through Twitter actually. So there's heads up anybody, if you don't want your data on Twitter taken to be used for Grok, there's actually a setting inside of Twitter in which you can turn that off. So, and it's automatically applied. So in settings and support, I think settings and privacy, when you're doing your privacy and safety, there should be like data sharing and personalization in there, specifically tied to Grok. And it actually has, I just found it. Allow your posts as well as your interactions, inputs, and results with Grok to be used for training and fine tuning. So it trains basically on Twitter behavior.
That's a terrible idea, but anyway.
I want them to use mine because I don't tweet as much as I used to, but I just found a tweet that I'm like, can you imagine the AI being based off of this? Friends tell me I need to stream for money. I say no. He asks, why do you stream for? Turtles. I want an army.
Well, I just remember, I thought at one point his AI was like essentially community posting things that people have, called out Elon on, and then Elon was like, no, don't listen to my AI that I paid for.
Yeah, because it's like you might actually be right. It might be learning a little bit from like Reddit and other parts of the internet, but yes, that was happening where it was just like the AI was like, oh yeah, no, factually, what Elon is saying is incorrect here. Yes, this is actually the right thing. He's like, and it's just like, hey, look at your AI. Look what it's doing. What you're saying is wrong. You're you're wrong.
I'm Dark Maga.
Yeah.
Dark Gothic Maga.
Dark Gothic Maga.
I hate his jumping. Anyway, maybe he is actually a shell because he can't be a human being.
I believe it. I would believe it if you told me that. That you know what? That's my new conspiracy theory.
Is that why he won
I've never had
Skylink?
one, but now I have one.
He never finished it.
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
All
to
I
stuff.
know is he's withheld it from countries that could use it. But anyway.
I look at like because I guess this is appropriate too for like learning or talking about like Ghost in the Shell. AI learning really isn't any different than like the way that like we learn things or how we pick up things. So if you have like the same thing like with like an AI, Grok learns things based on like what Twitter interacts with. I talk about this sometimes with like I have a fascination with how different cultures learn English, and they can all learn it differently. So specifically, because I watch wrestling, it's Japanese wrestlers and where they learn English. So for instance, Kazuchika Okada, he's known as like the Rainmaker, and he was like this super serious wrestler when he was in Japan. He comes over to America all of a sudden, and he just like, he understands like the cadence of the English language, even though like he doesn't exactly know like sentence structure or like how to speak, but like he'll know how to time something. So it's just like there's this funny thing with him where he's just in the back and he's like operating like a camera, and he's just like, oh, I pressed the wrong button. And he looks and he just turns to the camera and he just goes, I'm so sorry. And then he just deadpans and just goes, bitch. And that's his whole shtick. There's another one that actually speaks more British because she learned her English from like Harry Potter. And then there's another one who just speaks like they live on Twitter and will say things like, oh, you're a simp or stuff like that, because it's like that's where they learned it from. And it's like AI and kind of like the learning and like behaviors when like, you know, you're seeing people jump from like shell to shell. It's like it's kind of similar in a weird way that like AI almost works the same way that we do.
Yeah, it's a very rudimentary like learning machine. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, reading speculative fiction. I am in like a monthly horror book club, and we read one that like it didn't read as horror, but it had horror elements to it. One of the things that they talked about is there was a point in time where they made robots kind of like what Payne was saying. They were clippy. Their only purpose was to help people. They didn't do anything else. And then all of a sudden on the planet, there's no more people, and this robot's like, I gotta find people. All I do is help people. What do I do now that there's no people?
Yep.
But it is kind of one of those things that I imagine we're going to start with Clippy, and then it's eventually going to grow into Kusanagi. Hopefully not in our lifetime. I joked with my boyfriend while we were watching it. I was like, she's a pretty cool character, but am I not allowed to like her if if she's a cop?
It's, man, that's a common joke on my channel too. It's just like, cop, can't like him anymore.
But it is, I don't know. I think it's fun. It's a fun movie. Not fun for the ways that are like, haha, blockbuster, silly. But I think it's a fun, thinky movie. But final question. How likely would you recommend this movie to others?
You know, I'd actually probably highly recommend it, especially if somebody told me that they liked, okay, I can say The Influence now, I think. If somebody said like, man, I love like the Matrix series, I'd just be like, you should probably watch Ghost in the Shell. It's 90 minutes, quick watch. You'll probably easily pick up on like the influences and then really enjoy it. So I would say like, I would definitely probably give like either A or like, I think like even S tier rank in terms of like, watching it for its significance and importance. I think if I was just like casually recommending it, I'd probably go like more towards like a B. But I think that I guess it just depends on audience. So somewhere between like S and B. So I guess just an A.
I think that's fair. What about you, Payne?
I think I think I would be fine recommending. I think I need to watch it again.
That's fair.
But no, but like I think I would watch it again, but with that Like when we start like full spoilery talk, there'll be a couple things I'll say in there, which I feel like I start off every spoil talk, which we only had one with. But no, like I still think visuals and everything still hold up, so it's not like you can be like, this looks aged. But I think the themes and everything, it's a good conversation piece to have with somebody, like and talk with and talk through, kind of like we're gonna do. If I'm kind of quiet, I'm reading through the wiki to make sure the section that I missed. I'm like, okay.
I just need to understand it.
So, but yeah, no, I would recommend it. I think right now I'll be like a B at recommending it until I watch it again and fully awake.
Fully aware. Yeah, that's fair. I think I'd land in like the B plus, because I think it's a very watchable movie. Stylistically, like you said, it's great. I think it's my personal like favorite era of animation. Like as soon as the movie started, I went, yes. Like I understand and I do applaud like more modern art styles in anime that are visually stunning. But something about this particular era of the hand drawn and like very grounded colors and everything, it's just something in my brain. And I think, like you guys already mentioned, great conversation piece, but I also think the action also surprisingly holds up well, because at this point in anime there's so many people that will watch only for action scenes, and I think the action in Ghost in the Shell holds up a lot compared to what a lot of people say, like best fight scene ever. I'm like,
Yeah, actually to that point, I didn't give the animation enough credit here. I guess maybe because there wasn't a specific topic about it, but like, yeah, I think that's one of the things that kind of shocked me, is that I watched like Ghost in the Shell, the 2004 anime, which I know I can't remember what the specific title for it was, but
Standalone Complex.
Thank you. Yeah, Standalone Complex.
It's still right there on my other monitor.
I remember watching Standalone Complex, and so I was like, oh, it's a 1995 anime. Like, there's like animation-wise, I'm probably gonna be laughing at some things here, but no, animation-wise, it's actually quite like well done. Like, I was actually kind of impressed with.
They did that without computers.
Yeah.
I had the same magical feeling I did the first time I watched Akira. Watching this.
Yeah, I was like, holy cow! Like, I was like. I was thinking like, like it was like what animes were popular in England, America around this time. Like it would be like Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon around like the time that this came out, and this looks ahead of it in so many different ways. It just was so like, again, like the scene where they're doing the thermo armor, and it's just like, oh, you can watch like the transformation, and it's like slow, but it moves so well that it looks believable that they're like actually transforming. The finger expansion scenes, even the driving scenes, just everything about it was just like marvelous to look at, especially when you put it in the context of this was made in 1995, which, you know what, I'm bumping it up to an S now. I take back what I said about putting it in a B. I think it's kind of not just important in context of like what its influences, what influences came from it, but also just like, yeah, for a 1995 piece, this is really ambitious and really, really gorgeous to look at, aesthetically and visually.
Yeah, and this is a completely different conversation, but it's just like, for me, I think one of the things that kind of turns me off from a lot of modern anime is, now I'm not going to say all, because I definitely think there's some, even though they're being worked to death, have some very amazing animation, but it feels like there's just so much that's put out that the art style looks the same.
Yeah, face blindness really happens in some modern anime for me.
And and like the anime that comes out in like the 90s and probably the early 2000s, I think probably later 2000s, it started like the beginning of everything kind of gets that sameness. But like there's, I don't know, you can see, it's the same thing, like I was talking to someone about this with Disney's animation studio, how they're not doing 2D animation as much now. They're doing 3D. And their 3D animation stuff literally looks like they just changed the skin color and put a different hairstyle on it, but everyone looks the same. And it's like, but if you go back and look at some of their like older Disney cartoons, it's like you can see the director and like the animation and like the work that goes into it. Not to knock on 3D animation. I do think there are good 3D animated movies out there, but it's just Disney for me is not where it's at. But yeah, I feel like the art style for this era is what I really like. And Hop, before we go any further, didn't you have something you want to talk about? An actress?
I'm scared. Which actress? What are we talking about?
Didn't the voice actor?
Oh, yes. Something to note for anybody. Apparently, if you watch the Japanese dubbed version, the voice actress for the main character, Kasunagi, passed away this year, unfortunately. She was 61.
Oh, oh my God.
Atsuko Tanaka?
Yeah.
Yes.
What else? What other voices did she do?
She's pretty famous.
Yes, she did. I believe she was Bayonetta. She was also, oh geez.
She was Haname in Jujutsu Kaisen.
So she's in...
I heard say that one. Jujutsu Kaisen. There we go. I got it out.
I believe, okay, this is just a quick list out of Wiki, but a character in Cowboy Bebop, Monster, Fate Stay Night, a certain Scientific Railgun, Naruto Shippuden.
She was Kane from Nier. Sorry, that's a me thing. No, I don't know anyone to really know that.
I was going to mention it too, but I didn't know. Yeah.
JoJo's. You mentioned Jujutsu. She's in Devil May Cry as well.
She's in Jump Force.
Yeah, she was a Japanese version in Tomb Raider. Shin Megami Tensei 4.
She's Poison Ivy in Batman Ninja.
Batman Ninja?
Yeah, what? It's got a 5.6 probably.
What is Batman? There's a Batman Ninja?
Sorry, I'm dying.
I've learned something today.
I'll just put, oh my goodness. Oh, I remember this thing. It's like when they made Batman but anime. I think they go back in time.
Familiar.
They go back in time and like Joker's like a dude.
a dude.
He's a dude that works for Nobunaga. I remember this. It's back when they had fun doing things.
Yeah, I was like, I know she's in something big, and I was like, she's Bayonetta, and I was like, it clicked instantly.
Let's see, what else is there? Isn't it? She's Rey from Mighty Number 9. I don't remember who Rey is, but I did play Mighty Number 9. She's Poison from Street Fighter 5.
Interesting. She's Poison and Poison Ivy. Just
yeah.
a little poison roll. She's got it.
In your Lie in April, she's Yukiro Juhachi. I never watched that one, but I heard it makes people cry.
Yes.
I'm just like scrolling
Lisa
through.
Lisa is from JoJo's. Okay, I've watched enough of JoJo's to know who that is.
Let's see. I don't even know how to pronounce that name, but that's from Final Fantasy 14.
I haven't
plug
played it.
Meme now.
Final Fantasy 14 is one of those games where I have enough friends that have played it, and I still just it's there, it's downloaded. I could play it, I do not. not because I don't want to. Well, I guess maybe it's because I don't want to. But it's not out of like lack of interest. I just feel like I started up and I'm like, oh god, I gotta level up in order to do things. No, thank you.
Yeah, MMOs for me are just like, that's work.
Wait. She's the Japanese voice for President Warren in Detroit Become Human.
Oh, so yeah, her work is prolific. Then.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just the funny one for me. Oh.
Oh, she did. When you look at movies and shows, you have Ghost in the Shell, Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex 2045, Ghost in the Shell 2. Like,
No,
She was Tomb Raider.
no, that's why the name's important to me. She's in Umineko. That's right. She's Kyrie's voice.
No.
Oh my god, I've been hearing her this whole time, and I didn't immediately go to Kyrie. Yeah. Oh shit, that's right. Sorry, for those that maybe weren't paying attention when I said it earlier, I'm currently going through Umineko, so that's a voice I'm hearing a lot.
She's also Abumaru in the miniseries Blackjack.
Sweet. I made it down.
Oh wait, I've seen this Mobile Suit V Gundam. I haven't seen that specific one. She's also Lupin. Well, not Lupin, but she's in Lupin.
Yeah.
As Karen. Is that who I think it is? I can't tell anymore. I clicked and it took me to Americans.
She was Alice in Virtue's Last Reward, Zero Escape. That's a game I've played. So I never heard the Japanese voice acting for it, but she was Alice. If you don't know,
I don't.
now you don't. You still don't know.
But anyway, now that we're 40 minutes in, let's start our 30-minute timer of spoiler-free talk.
No, plenty of spoilers.
Yes. Oh, yeah. All the spoilers. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed that, guess what? You're going to get at least, well, maybe 30 minutes. We'll see. But of all the spoilers, and this is your last minute to not be spoiled about a movie that came out in 1995 and the manga came out in 1989.
It's my favorite thing to do. It's just like when we're playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and like people are asking questions, I'm like, spoiler alert for a game that came out 30 years ago.
All right, I'm starting the timer in 3, 2, 1. It has started.
Okay.
I lost my notes.
I'll jump in with an easy question.
Yep.
What was your favorite scene animation-wise?
While you do that, I've got my water bottle. I'm thirsty.
I just like the two that always, I don't know why, but the two that always stand out to me, unfortunately, are the two that like I've already talked about. Well, no, I mean the three, because like they're doing like the assassination scene at the beginning, and it's like you watch for the first time they're doing like the thermo armor thing. And you see Kusanagi just slowly, like she's like smiling, and it just like it starts spinning away, and they're like, oh, the thermo armor stuff. And that's just really, that's just such a cool start. I guess also any scene where they're showing kind of like the shells. So when they're like Matoko's shell in the beginning. We can also go to just the fingers and the clacking scene for obvious reasons. It just goes which launched the birth of many hacker scenes in American culture of just like, oh yes, that's how hacking works. Meanwhile, here I am in a tech job and I'm like, my fingers are never going that fast unless I'm typing up a report about something. If I'm actually doing work, I'm doing very little actually.
I thought hacking more was like swordfish. Moving on.
I was like, you lost me.
Yeah, it's a movie with Halle Berry where it's like we have a hacker and she's like, do this. And
Yes.
it's just like, no.
Oh, okay. I'm sitting here. I'm just like, why is he talking about seafood? And I just never put together. Oh, the Halle Berry film. Never mind. Yes, I do know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, I guess I'll interject. It might not be full scenes. I loved anything glowing. So like the fish tank in the very beginning when they had the whole assassination bit.
Yep.
I loved that. I loved the helicopter going around the building with the lights in the windows and everything was topsy-turvy and weird angles. I thought that was really fun. And I also... I do really like the invisibility scenes, but I specifically love the one where the guy clearly just had like an imitation version where she has like it's on her skin. So you watch him glitch out running through a crowd. Mm-hmm. And him glitching in the crowd, I was like, cheapskate.
No, you're right. That's a really
You
good
coward, run around naked.
Wear a cloak. Poof.
one. I'm glitching. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still on Atsuko Tanaka's page. Scrolling down because I'm waiting to get to the actual 1995 film. And happened to run into, she voiced Ava the Bear in Dr. Dolittle 2.
Very specific.
Very funny.
I'm trying to think. Favorite animation. I like the opening credits.
Oh, the skin shredding off of the shell? That's satisfying.
Like the skin, but then like going back to literally the Matrix, like, can we copy your homework? It's like, yeah, just change it a little bit.
Just put more letters than numbers.
Yeah, but it's just like that whole thing. It was just like the skin like kind of flaking off and just all that and just like that whole like sequence interspersed with like the green text scroll of, and then like, here's the director, and I'm like, this is a lot of names. That's right, I'm watching a movie from the 80s or early 90s. But yeah, that was my reaction as soon as I started watching. It's like, oh, I love this animation. This looks so good. My other thing was, as soon as the music was playing, it's like, this is my new favorite Christmas music. I don't know. I don't know what it is with those movies. Like Akira also had like that haunting like voice choir. I guess that's what a choir is. But like those like haunting like choir that's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious. So Strider told me that he read up on something where the way that the main character looks, Kasanagi, is inspired a lot by kabuki theater and like the masks they would wear. So that's why she has that particular type of haircut. And I was curious if that haunting, like you said, like choir type music, I wonder if it's meant to also evoke that feeling of the theater. But I feel like, if I remember correctly, he said that that was a direct or animation and like style choice for her, because the whole concept, she's a shell, she's not real. This is just a manifestation of what she should look like, but it's not really who she is. And I could hear it, especially in the one scene where they're like in the city and she's like on the river taxi and she sees like herself eating like in a restaurant while she's on the boat and she's like freaking out. And it's got that like really like, it's not even ambient, it's just voices overlaid over each other. I was like, I can see this being like kabuki theater, because they sing very hauntingly in all the clips of kabuki theater I've seen.
I'm reading that there was CG animation in the movie. Sorry, go ahead.
I did not realize.
Yeah, it's the animation goes according to Wikipedia. They used a novel process of digitally generated animation, DGA, which is a combination of cell animation and computer graphics. So, and then the audio was entered as digital data. I'm just DGA. Let's see. Was thought to be the future of animation as it followed traditional animation combined with computer graphics and digital cell work with visual displays. Editing was performed on Avid Technology. More. Okay, so it looked like it was supposed to like enhance and not just be the only thing.
Okay. Maybe
so
help
like
smooth out
lens,
animation.
Lens effects help create a sense of depth and motion without distorting backgrounds and everything. So.
I was going to say, around that era, if somebody did CGI, you knew they did CGI.
So yeah, I guess if it was... Oh, and then like the opening credits were produced by CGI, which was like, I could see that. And then some of the effects of the thermo optical camouflage were also rendered with the software to help it.
That makes sense.
So, still, looks good. Anyway, I cut you off. Go ahead, Blackjack.
Oh no, it was a small comment. That's why I didn't make a big thing about it.
Well, make it big now.
No, it was just I realized that like I've been hearing that soundtrack in different like memes and stuff, and or like people would use it like in their YouTube videos, and I never found out. I was like, man, I feel like that's like it's so haunting, but I'm like, I feel like I should know where this is from, and I never did. And I finally made the connection. Watching this, I'm like, oh my god, this is where it's actually from. So, yeah, no, that you bringing up the music just made me think of that.
Sorry, I just saw another thing on Wikipedia that Koei wanted to use Bulgarian folk music singers, but use Japanese folk singers instead. Oh, and it's sung in Cantonese.
I did not know that.
Leho. That's hello. I'm learning Cantonese. So. And now I'll find out later if I said it correctly.
Well, because it's well, actually, I don't know if it's true for Mandarin or if it's for Cantonese, but isn't it very tonal?
They both are.
Oh, they both are. Okay.
Yeah. From my understanding, and I'll probably be corrected later, Cantonese has more tones, and so it has 6 tones while Mandarin has 4. But Cantonese, I think, is historically has more of the historical roots in language. Wow. Mandarin there were so many like different dialects of it that they were like, hey, let's all do Mandarin and force everyone to learn that. That's a very simplified version of Chinese history, which, oh man, Chinese history is so cool. And it's like, oh my goodness, you learn history and now it totally makes sense why they react the way they do. But that's a completely different conversation and not about Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, so the something that cracked me up is when they were describing the puppet master, and they're like, he's able to hack into anything and get what he wants and like manipulate like markets, people, and all this stuff. And I'm like, so he's the CIA? Let's see. Oh, I have one other note, and then here's a conversation starter. Is this movie just makes me want to play, like, as I think I mentioned before, a Cyberpunk or a Shadowrun campaign. Like, it seems set up for that. More nerd stuff. But anyway, the thing that I'm, like, really was thinking about is, like, the true horror about it, which I think they mention it in passing of, like, how, like, terrible it is. I'm trying to see if I can find the term they call for it. But, just literally how scary it is, like the people who get their minds wiped, like when they're talking to the person who's the trash man, and he's like, no, I have this family and a kid, and it's like, no, do you see the picture you're showing? And it's just him with a dog and like in the middle of nowhere, and he's like, you lived alone in this apartment for 10 years and you don't have a wife, you don't have a kid. Like, this is everything that they like programmed in your brain to like think was real. And I'm like, and just the implication of just that alone, I feel like that alone would be like, take all the brain augments out. Like, I don't
I don't need them.
Like, yeah, as much as it's cool for me to have Google Maps show me where the next, like, restaurant is, like, just in my vision, which I don't think they actually do in this, but you know it would be. It's like, okay, because I also know I would be the cheap person. I would get, like, the ads, the ones with ads, and I'm like...
You'd be mad every 30 seconds.
Yep. But no, just, like, that whole thing where it's just like, no, someone just rewrote, like, just did a a disk wipe of your brain and imported whatever they wanted. And it's just like, just seeing that trash man's mind break while he's literally like trying to help him out. And it's just like, I also like the fact where it's like the cops in there, they're not just like, some of them are like, man, that sucks. Like I think, is Bato the guy with the
mullet? No.
Who's the man friend that's hanging out with Motoko Kusanagi?
Well, you have
Her
like
partner?
that. He doesn't have the glasses. I think Bato is the one with the mullet that drives the car.
Oh, okay, so he's the one that only has like he's the most human.
Yeah, because she said we need you on the team because you're a family guy. You're honest. Blah blah blah.
Who's the other? Tasuga? Is that him? I'm just literally looking at the names on the IMDb, and I'm like, here, I'll just send a picture of the guy. I'm trying to figure out who his name is.
Okay, that'll help.
But he's like always there, like kind of helping her out and stuff.
Let me double check my list. I mean, I could be backwards, but this is all the Ghost in the Shell characters. I don't need all of them.
He's like the old man.
Oh, never mind. You were right. Bato is the one with like the little eye implants.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Bato.
Okay.
Yeah. The mullet man is the other one, and then Daisuke is the old director.
But yeah, how like it shows pretty much Bato and Kusanagi walking out as like that trash man's mind is melting, and it's just like it feels like Kusanagi has like more, like her work is just like like taking more of like the humanity or like the compassion out of it, like was why she sounds colder, while Bato seems to have more like the body augments rather than like the mental ones. I don't know, I could be wrong, but he seems to care a little bit more than
he does have that moment more. I think it doesn't seem obvious until the end of the movie when there's the whole brain meld is how I'll put it.
I did see that. Like I did see that part. I saw the end of the movie. What I missed is when because what was it? It's like, oh, you saw the pressure of the cars and all that, and it's like how like when they realize that there's other people in the building. And
yeah.
So like,
and he notices like the doors don't automatically close and all of that too. Yeah.
All I missed was them, I think, chasing him down and fighting a tank. So, yes, there was more in between that, but yeah, it's I don't know, like, what do you guys think about that whole like, well, my life is a lie, like?
Oh yeah, like that part is definitely horrifying, especially because it's not even like in the beginning you're set up to think that this trash man is like, oh, I'm finally getting help for something I need, and his coworker is like, I'm just trying to do my role, like, can you not make me complicit in your crimes?
Yeah.
So like at first I was like, oh, this poor guy, hopefully like he's not being taken advantage of, and then like he is to the ultimate degree, because his whole life is like you said, all been implanted after the fact. And it reminded me a lot of a movie I like, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where it's an option for somebody to be mind wiped, but then of course naturally the brain is like, I don't know what to do with this missing gap, and it's freaking me out, man. I'm having nightmares about this life I used to have but apparently never did. So it gave me similar vibes to that, where that guy, it's just realizing and making the connection that, you know, he is just a stepping stone to distract them enough so that the hacker can do what he actually wants. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, and then the person that you think that they're going after, who's like, oh wow, they found that guy really soon. It's like, run, man, run. And it's like, no, he's not even, like, it was just like shells upon shells.
Yeah, I did think it was cool when Bato was like, talk. You don't even have anything to say. What's your name? And the guy was just like, name, like in SpongeBob. Name.
I don't know the SpongeBob.
There's a bit in SpongeBob where SpongeBob gets told to be the best waiter to ever exist. And his advice he's given is to wipe everything in your brain.
Yes. And so I can't remember what the circumstance is, but they're like, I think it's like one of those like, tell me, waiter, what's your name? And he's like, name, right? I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, and then he has the popular GIF of like the mini SpongeBob's going through filing cabinets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do remember that. Yeah, I got nothing else to add to it. But yeah, and then I thought something else, like that whole. I thought something this movie was, we did well, where it was just there was definitely parts like if you didn't read the manga or whatever, and it's just like when they're just Bato and Kusanagi are just sitting there just drinking on the boat. And it's just like, I didn't know cyborgs would do something as stupid as go into an ocean where you literally could just die. He's like, well, if I do, there, I'm gone. He's just like, what? And then it's like, what does it even mean? And then it goes on to be like, can you imagine? We can't even get drunk. We're just drinking because our bodies are so modified that like, all the we get detoxed right away, and
Mm-hmm.
And then
I think she said like within an hour, all of it's out of your system, so you can't even get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that jealous. That would have really helped me years ago.
So yeah, I thought it was fun where it's just like, because I feel like the way, like from what we see, we always see just like, okay, they do superhuman things, but then it's like, we forget that technically they're just modified humans at a point. And then it's like they still have all the human like bits and parts and everything, but then it's like, yeah, but like we've been modified so much, like people, like unless you, it gives you those moments to like remind the audience like they are like the what would be considered human is just like this, they're like on the fringes of it, to the point where like we don't even like, we have immortality but we literally can't like do anything without getting a system update and all this stuff.
And like the puppet master's dialogue as well about like, you know, I didn't ask for my brain to be put into this machine, and yet here I am. I can't do all the things that people can do. Which, again, like, is another great conversation piece of just because you can create essentially life, should you? Because, you know, they got so self-aware that he's like, I can't live, I can't die, I can't have kids. The only, you know, when people... I really like that they also had that discussion over top the family tree. And he's like, this is what people do. I can't do that. And then he makes his little proposal. And I was like, oh, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that.
Do it.
And then that's like the moment that I noticed Bato, like you said, he feels more like an augmented human than like fully a ghost in the show. Because he's like, if you go too deep, I'm unplugging you. And she's like, ah ha ha, shush shush.
Yeah. And to the point where like the puppet master's just like real-time hacking, like, okay, Kusanagi, you're only talking with me. Also, Bato, no touchies.
Yeah, his hands freak out when he's like, okay, I need to pull the plug.
Yeah, it's interesting because like when watching that scene, I was wondering, I'm like, how fast are they talking? Like the Kusanagi and
like passing
master.
Information.
Yeah, because like which it's just like because Bato does say like he can only hear one half of the conversation, and like you can like they can still move and all that stuff and everything, but it's still like it's Bato's just whole like not interaction, but he's just like his thing where he's just like, oh man, like Kusanagi, talk to me, and she's like, I literally can't, but it feels like throughout this whole movie, and feel free to correct me, it's just like she seems to like she's questioning, like there's parts where she's questioning like, what am I? Am I human? Am I just whatever I'm in there? Am I even like, am I like one of these brain wiped people that like I don't know? Like, is everything just manufactured? And then he gets to the point where she like it feels like she's like, no, I am, like she leans so far into like, no, there's no like kind of humanity, where Bato is like leans the other way, where it feels like there's a point, and I could have misheard or misremembered, where both of them have been modified, like have been like extremely modified to the point where it's like, yeah, they're more robot than human. Oh, Blackjack, your mic isn't working.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
yeah.
Now we can.
Okay, cool.
I didn't know if you were saying something. I saw your model talking.
No, my so I have a Focusrite box. It temporarily went out for a second. So I turned
okay.
it back on.
No
Okay.
problem. Your
But yeah, I
PS5's
do
trying
know-
to show up again.
No, you're good.
The what was it? The one guy who's not modified on the police force that Kusanagi specifically asked to join them. I think
Tasuka.
Togusa.
Togusa. Mullet
They
man.
they have the little monologue with him where they go, "Oh, by the way, you're the only not modified person in this entire conference room." He's like, "What?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like it explains it. It's like the whole reminder where it's like everyone looks human, but they're not. Like
There's not a lot, yeah.
They're more machine than human at this point, for
Yeah.
at least the characters. And then like you see how they like make decisions, where it's just Kusanagi's like, no, you should be using this automatic weapon because it's way better, shoots more and everything. And Togusa's just like, sorry, I'm not gonna give up my like gun that I was
My
given
old
as a
pistol.
cop. I forget what he calls it. And he's like, and then they still give him crap for it later. It's like, I got the things like, if you had this gun, you could shoot twice as fast and get multiple trackers in there. And he's just like, I did the job.
Leave me alone.
I do love like the little details in the movie too, where it helped it feel, as like sad and depressing as it is, it helped it feel more human for me. Like the part where he shoots the car and gets the tracker in, and the other driver who like slowed down the car just enough was like, "Did I do a good job? Thumbs up? Yes."
Yeah.
And then the moments where like Bato is like, "How are you doing after having like basically gotten your head squished by a tank?" I've had better days.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add, Blackjack? I feel like I was
We've taken
on.
over. Yeah.
No. You're good. I don't really know. I don't have much else to really add. I think we've kind of covered a decent amount, and I think like most of like what stuck with me, I've already kind of gotten out. I think that's why I've kind of like sat back and I was like, you guys got it.
So would you merge?
Would I merge? No, I like my humanity too much.
But
Well,
you could have an infinite amount of you in the network at any given time.
I guess to be fair, I guess here's a better question. Would you, even with all the horrors that I was mentioning earlier, would you do the augments?
Yes.
Which augments?
Google Maps.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, do I come with my own GPS? Then hell yeah. It's just like, cool. I don't have to look up anything. I just instantly know it.
Here, while you think about that, there's one thing that did come to mind that cracked me up a little bit, and then I don't know if we can all answer the augment question, but the thing that cracked me up was like the trash. It was early on. The trash man's just driving around. He's like, "Yeah, blah 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 blah," and then he's like, they get the call, and he's like, "Why are the police looking for your trash truck?" And he's like, "I don't know why." And he turns, he's like, "Oh, we got to skip the next one," which is what leads him to the guy. And I'm like, he's just like, the guy's like, "I just want to help my family." He's like, "No, you don't."
I know. The one guy's just like, "What do you mean skip the next stop?" Like, he's just trying to get paid. This poor other garbage man. And
then it does a quick cut to like all the locals just standing out there with this pile of trash, just like, where are they?
I know. I like the one local where they're like, "Have you seen a man making a phone call recently?" He's like, "I don't know. I guess the trash man did." And they like go, "Okay, cool." And then they leave. He's like, "Can you bring this to him?"
Yeah, can you take my trash?
What is it that he yells at him when, like during that trash scene? I think they stop him and he grabs the other guy that's not actually. And then I think Bato goes and runs off and tries to find, or is it Motoko? I can't remember. One of them runs off to actually try to find the actual guy, but then he grabs the guy. He swears at him or something. I can't remember what exactly he said, but I remember just laughing so hard at that scene.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, I'm blanking on that too.
Oh, shoot. Because I remember laughing. I'm like, oh, man, that's not something you're going to hear nowadays.
Right. No, that's exactly why. And I'm like, I can't think of...
Did you both watch it in English?
Yes.
Oh, maybe the translation was different. Because I don't remember anything significantly...
I'm going to Tubi. I'm going to find it.
Yeah, that was one of the things, too, is that, like, watching, like, the the English dub of the movie, because I thought we were all going to watch English, I realized that there were like some scenes where like the dubbing is actually kind of off weirdly, which wasn't like a big problem, but it was just like, it definitely kind of felt like some of the English acting just kind of felt like what's the word I'm looking for, not monotone, but just kind of like almost as if like at some points there were like disconnections, and I think maybe that's why like it's kind of easy to tune out, because they're, especially when they're like in their talking scenes, they're just talking and it just feels like, oh yeah, we're just having normal conversation. Like there's a scene where like Kusanagi is like communicating through the wires, and like she's not actually talking, but like the English VA is going over it, and I kind of blinked out for a second thinking like, why is she not, and then realizing because like the transition between it was like a little awkward at times. Just the VA in English was here and there. It left more to be desired, but like it didn't take me completely out of it. It was just odd to me at moments.
Gotcha. Yeah, I scoured the internet for a Japanese version because I'm just that kind of person. It was free on YouTube with ads in the Japanese dub, in case you ever want to watch it again.
I should have checked it on YouTube. I just looked and I was like, oh, it's on Tubi? Great, I have that. And just went, all right, here we go.
Because I saw you could add subtitles on Tubi but not change the actual thing. And it also confused me because on Tubi they listed the Japanese actors. And I went, oh, okay.
Hold on. I think I found the spot. Hold on. I'm watching it right now. Oh,
okay.
Hold up. She's jumping up a building. That was cool, showing how heavy she is, crushing the
ground,
panel.
yeah.
By the way, 30 minutes is up. Just
where she does her little Spider-Man, just
superhero landing.
Actually, I guess it would be more like the Terminator.
Yeah.
I'm just, oh man. I'm
guess
trying to find it. Yeah. I thought I was there. Hold up. I'm just going to play. We can keep talking.
You know, I'm thinking more about it, and I'm like, if I just had to, I would just, you know, I guess if I'm going down the route of like, if I'm doing augmentation, I might as well just get the implants and stuff too. You know,
go all in.
Yeah, like if I'm already committing, I might as well just go all in. That's why I was kind of like, that's why like my immediate answer was just like, no, I like my humanity too much. But I'm sorry, like if I'm already getting augmentations, it's like, yeah, they'll take a cyber brain, sure, why not? Yeah, that sounds dope. My body can process alcohol like within like an hour, and then it's just all gone. Yeah, I'll take that too.
I know they'd probably have like a little pamphlet of like, here's a starter package where you could just have like really good limbs, so you don't have to like come to the doctor as often. You'd be like, oh, nice, nice. And my insurance covers part of it. Good, good. And then it would just be like, oh, since you already have this, you're on a stepping stone for the next thing. You're like, you know what? You're so right.
Yeah. I guess immediately it would just be like if I could, because I did break my right leg in real life. So like, yeah, just if I just, augment my right leg and it's like, oh shit, I can run again. Like, yeah, I'd be down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For me, I have such like a distrust for just technology now. I'm like, do I really want it in me? But then there's the other part of me is like, I could be robot.
You too could be robot.
I could be robot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess.
I mean, that's more or less where my stance is too.
Yeah.
It's just like I very much value my humanity, but don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, like, I guess if I could be better,
Like, if I could get one that, like, you don't have to poop anymore, that's a good one.
yeah.
No emergencies, just ingest food as need and it take care of self. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, I'm giving up, but I'm having, like, they're talking in my ears while listening to you guys. I'm like, cross-eyed. Like, I can't find where it was. I think I went too far. I thought it was... Were they chasing the trash men? Do you remember when it was?
I actually probably have the time mark for it. It's somewhere around 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah. I feel like it's like 25 minutes in. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull up I can pull it up on my phone, so it should probably give me a good spot for it.
Yeah, I'm like at the 23-minute mark. Let's see if I... But anyway... Okay, I gotta pause that while I'm talking. But yeah, I don't know. I think some of the augments would. I don't know. It's just like I think I would be a late adopter. I don't think I'd be the first one signing up for the augments.
Yeah, I gotta see the consequences from like the first like 3 or 4 models before you take that chance. Any spontaneous explosions, that'll be early model adopters.
Yeah, like I don't know. But then it's like the other part of me where it's just like it would I don't know.
That's what it is. I found it. I love how good my memory is.
How far was it in?
It's 23 minutes 58 seconds. Where Bato is there, and he's what's the line he says beforehand? Let me. He's like, I'm not like the guy's like, I'm not talking to any of you GD cops, and he's like, talk, and just what are you gonna talk about? You don't even know your name, you stupid dick.
I literally stopped right as he was saying that line. I was right there.
That's the one where like I laughed so hard at that.
This one? No. I don't know where. There it is. Boop. So. Yeah, there's definitely some fun stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Like the timer's up. Is there anything else that we would like to bring up, cover, or do we feel
I
good?
feel like all my thoughts have been spoken about.
Yeah, same.
Here's my last note that I was like, this is right when they were like tracking the doors and like the weight and everything, and I'm like to find out that there was like something wrong with the people that came in there, to where I'm just like, I'm not smart enough to be a future cop.
No, the amount of detail, because he was sitting there replaying it and watching like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Took too long.
I was just waiting for enhance. Enhance.
No, they didn't have that in '95.
I didn't even conceive of it.
But yeah, so that is the end of Ghost in the Shell, Blackjack. Well, thank you for coming. And you heard, Blackjack got a sneak peek for what was coming next year. So we're pretty sure we'll be getting you in, if not once, so maybe a couple more times for some of the stuff we're doing next year. It's always a pleasure having you on. Yeah.
I think next week for this series, I think next week we're set to watch... Unless the order changes. Yeah, Millennium Actress.
Millennium Actress. I don't know what that's about. To be fair, I don't know what any of these ones are about.
But you will.
Yeah. I'm catching up on my animes. But yeah. So we will be enjoying that. And yeah, Blackjack's information will be down below, so you better check him out. Otherwise... insert threat here. Yeah. Well, I was trying to think of something of off he was playing, but all I can remember is there was a girl that was like, your kung fu is faster than my mind hole producing powers. George, that was his name. Why do you know kick fu? I don't know what he had. All I know is that she was creating giant holes in everything, and he was running up there, and he had a big foot. And I don't remember what game it was.
I don't know either.
I
was trying to piece it together, and I'm like, this sounds familiar.
It was like
a
blonde lady talking to another... like a guy, I thought his name was George, and it was like his reveal that he knew like martial arts even though he didn't have magic powers. And
you're almost describing something I'm playing right now.
Yeah, and then what was it? I'm totally blanking on the name, but I just remember it was like the bit that I saw, they were like doing like a kick move, and then like instead of like animating it or giving him something else, they like panned the photo across to where it's just like they drew the foot to the edge of the art panel, and they just kept dragging that over, so there's just this big black mark, like emptiness behind him. It's just like, nah, we don't need more art, this is good enough. I don't remember what it was though. So let's see if I type in your channel. Well, I see something that.
The only thing I'm thinking of is that it's okay. So I guess if we're in spoiler territory, it's deep in this, but I think I know what you're describing.
I think. Oh wait, yeah, because it's Umenko.
Yeah, Umineko. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's the scene where yes, George is fighting Gop. Gop is she's got like blonde and has the curls and everything, yeah. And she has like
is missing 2/3 of her dress.
Correct. She's also missing 2/3 of her dress, and also has these kicks that will like do like a ton of damage to you. If you take them. And so he then busts out and he's like, yeah, I also like just out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, I know capoeira and I know how to do like all these roundhouse kicks and I've learned kung fu and taekwondo. And it's like, we're in chapter 4, my guy. When did you just magically learn this from? What are you talking about?
Internet.
Yeah. So yes, that's what I was like. I think this is what he's talking about, but I'm not sure. And yeah, once you went back and you did it, I was like, okay, yes, you are talking about Umineko. Yes, Umineko has a lot of wild things going on in it.
Yeah.
Like, you think that would be the most surprising thing, and then nope, it's not.
So, but yeah. So anyway, if you want to check out the anime visual novels or Final Fantasy VII or there was something else I know Blackjack that he mentioned. Undertale, yes.
Yes.
Go check them out. The link is below. And if not, we will we will Sorry, I've been reading Don or whatever it is. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Oh, Don.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it, but I've been reading it, and I'm like, I can see why this is popular.
The music just like
So that like it's very early on, but there's a whole character that's just like they're like calling on there, and it's just like I was about to make a joke. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go through the internet and give you a knuckle sandwich for not paying attention to blackjack. And there's a character there that just like, how did you literally run through the phone? And it's just like, don't worry about it. So it is a very fun series, but that's not what we're talking about, and this is the end. So eat cheese and burgers, and we'll see you next time. Bye.